Hello.
Hi there.
Welcome to another one of our horror reviews.
Yes.
I'm Randy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is The Stepfather.
Yes. I know it's been a little while since we did our last video. We've been super busy.
Yeah, we've been super busy with Sinister Creature Con
and other stuff.
And it's just been a busy month. Pride Month and everything. But yeah, we did this for Father's Day. We watched all the Stepfather movies. All 4 of them. Wish there was more, but there's not.
Can you imagine how many Stepfather movies there would be?
Could you imagine if there's like 11 Stepfather movies?
Oh my god.
Like how?
It would be fun to see another one though again, finally.
Yes, it would.
I wonder what they do this time.
But anyways, this stars Terry O'Quinn.
And Jill Schoelen and Shelley Hack.
Yes, Terry O'Quinn from... The only thing I really know him from is Lost.
He was from a couple things.
And Silver Bullet. He was in Silver Bullet, I know.
He was he was in the sequel as well. He was in Lost and he was in Pin, another horror movie that I haven't seen in a while. Jill Schoelen. And she was in a lot of movies at the time.
She was in Popcorn, the horror movie Popcorn.
She was in quite a few movies actually at the time, and especially a lot of like horror movies that weren't as popular, but they were still good. I actually think she was a good actress that just was underused. And then Shelley Hack, who was from Charlie's Angels.
That's her name.
Yes.
Shelley Hack.
Yeah, Shelley Hack. She was one of the original actresses who was, I think she got replaced by another, I forget which one she was, but she was in the first few that was used in that show. I didn't watch the show a whole lot, but I watched a few.
Charlie's Angels.
I watched it a little bit, but not a whole lot. I know she was one of the first blonde actresses they used in that show back in the 70s. And this was like 20 years after I think she got off that show or something, 10, 20 years after she got off the show. I know. She was she was about 40 in this movie.
But this movie, doing a review,
yes.
It starts off with a man, Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah, he's in the bathroom.
And
he's just, like, it's a normal, ordinary street, suburban neighborhood. He is getting ready, and you see him just shaving and getting ready, and he's, like, cleaning up and whatever. And he is in a shower. You see him get in there and get out.
Small details.
Yeah. And then he comes out, he's like, okay, cool. Gets these new contact lenses, puts them in his face, and, makes himself look minorly different. And then he goes downstairs and then proceeds to do what every normal father would do and walk past his dead family in cold blood.
Yeah, this opening is very dark.
It is very dark. And the thing about it is it doesn't show you what's happening. It doesn't let you know, like, it leaves in suspense for the first 10 minutes of what's actually, like, the first 5 minutes of what's happening until you see him walk down the stairs, and all of a sudden there's this, like, big, like, synth 80s music that's playing that's, like, all of a sudden, like, there. And it's just going. And you see blood on the walls, and you see all these dead people, the wife, the two, like, a couple children, I think, 1 or 2, 3 children there. And he leaves the house whistling Doodah. And then he goes off and has this briefcase, and then just proceeds to get on this boat and dump the evidence over the boat, over water. And then it fast forwards a year later to see Jill Schoelen, and she goes with Shelley Hack, and then all of a sudden Scary Jerry comes back. Because he changes his name. He always changes it IMO. In fact, it's supposed to be the same character in the original trilogy. Even when it's a different actor in the third one, we'll get to that later, but it's the same character. It's just, like, changes his name, changes his identity to look and
we'll get more
be
into that
different.
In the sequels.
Yes, but he goes by the name of Jerry in this movie. Is his new name.
He's set up with his new family already.
Yeah, they're not married, but
they're not married.
They're not. Well, it's not only his, but it's sort of his family. So they've been dating, and Jill Schoelen and Shelley Hack had just lost their husband and father. He died, and she's been struggling in school, and she finally gets expelled, and then she kind of just goes, well, what do I do? And she's like, well, I'm thinking about going to boarding school, and then he's like, no, we have to have the family together. He's like, we have to have the perfect family. He goes in the basement by himself.
He's very family dynamic.
He is, and in the beginning, he gives her a dog. We see the first thing we see of him when he's with the new family is he gives Jill a dog, because he knows he's trying to win her over, and she's suspicious of it, takes the dog, but loves the dog, but she's like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
And all these, like, things where she's always suspicious of him, even though she doesn't have, like, a lot of reasons to. It's just something about his behavior and his...
She's just suspicious.
Aware and intuitive of something wrong with this guy.
She's just suspicious of him in general.
Yes.
Being a new person in their lives and being just very different, because Terry O'Quinn takes the character to a new extreme in this movie.
He's fantastic in this movie.
The way that he presents this character is just like, he's like, oh, everything's happy-dory. Like, oh, honey, pumpkin, it'll be all right.
He tries to be and that's what even Jill Schoen says at one point. She's like, it's like the Leave It to Beaver dad. He's just so perfect and perky.
So perfect, yeah.
It's like there's something wrong with him, and so
he'll go down to his basement and throw things and
throw fits, and he's like, I have to have the perfect family, and he keeps a picture of the dead family he just killed, and and the wife that he killed had a brother. And he is working with detectives to try to find the killer, and eventually links it back to them, which he'll get back to later. But he's like announces to the town that he's going to be marrying them. That he's marrying into the family, marrying the wife, and behind her new stepfather. And they don't do it in this movie, but they kind of like lead it to it happening.
And there's not very many kills in this movie. Just
no, it's more suspense. And then there's psychiatrist.
The psychiatrist.
And there's another person that dies too, I think. The guy, the brother of the previous wife.
Oh yeah, at the end.
Yes, and but
yeah, long story short,
the psychiatrist constantly asks her how you're feeling about this guy and why you don't like him, and trying to find out why she is the way she is about things. She's like, I don't trust him. He scares me. I don't know how I feel about this. And so he finally goes to investigate, and he goes over to meet him at this house because Terry O'Quinn doesn't know the doctor, but he knows about him. So he goes to like one of his houses he's selling, and then he changes up his story and gets something wrong, and says he's married and changes it to not being married. So Terry O'Quinn is suspicious on him. He's like, how'd you find about me? And he starts beaten to death with a 2x4. Comes back home, and then he goes, hey honey, and she's like, where were you so late? I heard you got fired from your job. And he's like, that lady at the receptionist doesn't know what she's doing. She's horrible. And then he's like, well, how? And then something comes up about how he can't remember like the name of his family. And he's like, how hard can it be forget how hard is it to forget Hodgkins or something like that?
He's like, who am I here?
And then he's like, wait a second, who am I here, honey? Or something like that. And then she's like,
and then that's
Jerry.
Freaks
and then he's
out.
like, thank you, that's it. I'm Jerry, blah, blah, blah. And then he proceeds to smash her in the face with the phone really hard. This phone. And then he goes, are you okay? That leads to a big fight. And then later, after he knocks her down the stairs, the brother of the previous wife that's been trying to work detectives to try to find this guy and track him down, finally meets him at the house, and he's like, I recognize you, you're blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, what do you have blood on your face for? And he takes a knife and just chucks it up this guy, and kills him. Meanwhile, he goes upstairs and he's about to kill Jill, and it leads to this whole big chase scene finally. And her acting and the chemistry between her and Terry O'Quinn is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Finally, it leads to this attic scene where he falls through the roof, and then it leads to this like Shelley Hack tries to shoot him. Whatever, I think it's supposed to be Thanksgiving or something like that, and finally, Jill Schoen just stabs him with a knife. He falls down the stairs. And that's supposed to be like the scene where it ends, and then they just knock down, they basically just try to start anew. And that's kind of how the movie ends.
Yeah, and you think he's dead because you don't know.
They weren't intending for a sequel at the time. In fact, it was supposed to be, this one was not meant to be a slasher because there's only 2 kills, plus the family that died in the beginning, so but 2 on-screen kills, the rest were just the family that killed. This is supposed to be more of a suspense film and a much more of a dramatic horror piece that's psychological.
So we gave this film 3 stars, 3.5 stars.
I gave 3.5 stars. Yes, I thought it was really good. I think this is one of the best acted ones. I think there's a couple other ones that are pretty close, but this is just, I think, if not the best, one of the best. I think the second one's pretty close up there for me.
Real quick, I think this one is basically just building up on the story. And then the second
It's
and
a really good story
third
movie.
ones get a little bit better.
I think the first one's one of the best ones actually.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best acted.
But anyways, like and follow us for more.
Like and
We
follow
have
for
more
us.